Danny White has come in and he's got the construction crews. He's keeping the construction companies in the Knoxville slash East Tennessee area in business. The Neyland Stadium Entertainment District, Harbin, what's your thoughts on this? Good or bad?
For the university, good. For the common folk, that it's already a nightmare to park, gonna be really bad. Getting around and getting to the stadium is gonna be that much harder. With that being said, I'm kind of lumping this in with the partnership with Pilot. Um, do I love that one? No, not at all. I don't. But that's where college sports are going now, and I would rather be ahead of the curve than behind the curve.
Why don't you love that pilot deal?
I just don't think where this is leading is obviously Pilot's going to be on the 25-yard line, um, which that's better than Neyland Stadium turning into the Food City Center. You know, it's
Right.
obviously way better than that. But it's going to lead to small patches on jerseys. It's going to lead to this. It's going to lead to that. And just in my humble and honest pea-brained opinion, I don't think sponsorships should be that heavy in college sports. Um, Now, if you have the Verizon banner and like you put Verizon on the cups and Thompson Bowling like I used to, that's fine, but as far as I'm concerned with the court and the jerseys, stay away. I think I'm just getting older. I'm starting to get grumpier. I do what it is.
You sound
Um,
like me about the jerseys.
but that's where all sports are heading. Unfortunately, it's going to make its way into the college setting, which I want to call this an amateur sport, but it's just not anymore.
It's
It's not.
not.
No, it's not at all. Um, but to help fund all of this NIL craziness, boosters, what have you, you're going to have to lean on these companies that you have alumni in or that own it. You know, um, I'll take Pilot being on the 25 instead of it being Pilot Field or Stadium or whatever you want to call it. I'll take that. I just don't love it for the sake of college football. But circling back to my original point, that's where this is going, and I'm glad that we are ahead of the curve on it as opposed to trying to play catch up.
Well, that's what. So I was talking my buddy Walker. He don't listen to this show, and he probably won't ever hear this. But he's kind of been grumpy over the last year, year and a half, 2 years almost that Tennessee's not doing enough to renovate the stadium for the common fan. Now he's not wrong; they haven't done much. But in order to fund these renovations, you have to do things like this entertainment district, the pilot sponsorship, like you talked about, the West Side club seats, or West Side club seats that they put in before the 22 season. Same thing in Thompson Bowling, doing things over there with Food City. That's helping pay for renovations. So they got to do this stuff up front in order to, and there's plans to do all this. It's just taking time to get there. I drive by Neyland Stadium pretty much every morning on my way to work, and that south end zone looks, if you haven't been there since last year, it's totally different. They've built a huge entrance there with steps and grass. I mean, it doesn't look the same when you pull into that bottom level of G10 next Saturday, Harbin. If you're with me or if you walk around, then you'll see like how different it looks. And that's the whole stadium's getting ready to change. There's going to be a plaza out there at Gate 10. The south end zone's getting ready to be, and Danny White said it, in order to do that, in order to widen the concourses in the south end zone and put better bathrooms and restrooms in the stadium, they got to do this stuff, which is why that's why I'm a fan of it. Now, I'm not really thrilled about them taking G10 away because one, that's an iconic parking tailgating spot. And two, we just moved back there. For those that didn't know, that's where tailgating is going to be this year for the YY8 crew. And we had to move from C8 because they're building dorms. Well, here, whenever this starts, the entertainment district's going to be right on top of G10, and that's gone. So where are we going to go? That was the question I asked the parking or the crew that got these parking passes. Like, where are we going to go after this? Like, where do we go? And the university claims that they'll replace this parking garage. What my question is, and I don't get paid for this, but where? That campus is packed full. Like, where does this go? I know they just built a new garage over next to G17 off of White Avenue, but that's 10 minutes away from the stadium, walking distance. I don't know. A lot of questions about that. I'm sure they've figured it out and they just haven't announced it yet. That's why Danny White gets paid the money he does. But